I am not interested in being around grizzly bears.
You have a fear of grizzly bears.
Everyone should have a fear of grizzly bears.
What?
Because if there was only one grizzly bear and it was a myth, like if a grizzly bear didn't exist, but then it was in a movie, and there was this thing that's a 900-pound predatory wild dog.
It runs 20
It just
miles an
roams
hour.
through the woods. No fences.
Yeah.
No fences.
Yeah. Oh, you want to climb a tree and get away? You can climb trees.
Break a moose's back. My friend watched through a scope. He was looking through like a long-range scope.
Yeah.
He watched this bear as it was chasing. They were like, oh shit, it's chasing him, it's chasing him. The bear caught up to the moose and broke its back.
with a slap.
Oh, shit.
Just bang! And the moose is fucked, slams against the side of this tree. The bear took down a fucking moose. Those are just running around.
Yeah,
and you're
insane.
gonna have a little cloth house that you sleep in.
But what if you scare them by yelling at them?
Well, you might scare them off.
You can juke
generally
them, right?
speaking,
Yeah, I can
they're
juke them.
not gonna want to kill you because you're
Right.
not a primary food source.
Right.
They focus on what they try to eat. They're trying to eat berries. They're trying to eat animals. They're trying to eat a lot of fawns and calves. That's what they want. They want babies. As right when they get out, they're the most vulnerable, and bears are on the hunt right around then.
Did you see this one where they're
Oh my God, it's the most terrifying.
I've said for years that bears are my biggest fear, and you guys made fun of me relentlessly.
Wait, was it bears?
This is the polar bear. This is the polar bear. This one is
You live in
fucked.
Florida.
Yeah, there's mad bears where I live.
But what's going on?
Where do you live?
Oh, I grew up in Florida, in Orlando.
Oh, there's a lot of bears in Florida.
But they were like little black bears. They weren't even that big.
Little, but they'll still kill people.
But this thing right here. So this is him just being curious. He's just kind of looking around.
No, incorrect.
You don't think he's
No, that's a polar bear. He smells meat, and he's trying to get in there and eat that dude. That's 100% what's going on. He's not curious.
You don't think he's sniffing around?
What? Did
He
the guy have a
smells
Coca-Cola
meat.
in there?
That polar bear, look at this. That polar bear smells that man's meat. That's why he's doing this. This has nothing to do with curiosity. He is trying to bite that box to eat that man. 100 million%.
I mean, this is insane.
Yeah, because polar bears only eat meat. They're not like any other bear. They're the most predatory of all bears because they don't have any other options. They don't have any vegetables. There's no grass. All they eat is fucking seals or anything else.
Yeah, photographers sometimes.
Anything that's there. Polar bears will come for you.
So what do you do in that situation?
Dude.
Pray.
I heard the most terrifying
Wait it
story
out.
of these explorers. They were on an icebreaker. And they were on an icebreaker. I don't even know if this is true.
What's
but I'm
an
gonna tell you it
icebreaker?
like
Oh,
it's
an
true.
icebreaker is
So
a
they're
boat.
out there in wherever the polar bears live.
Yeah.
And they have a leak in their boat. And they have to literally get off the boat because the boat's sinking.
Yeah.
So they make their way to an ice raft. They get off the boat onto this ice raft. And they wait. And there's multiple hours before someone can come get them. And they see a polar bear.
Oh, fuck.
And they see a polar bear on a neighboring ice raft.
Yeah.
And he's looking at them and he stands up and boom, comes up in the water and pops up on the next one next to it. And they're like, oh man. Boom, back in the water, pops up on the next one next to it until he's right next to them. He dives in the water, comes up onto their ice raft, takes one of the guys, grabs him, pulls him into the water, swims with him over to the other one, and starts eating him. Right in front of those dudes.
Holy shit.
So they're standing there going, what the fuck? And then
Where
the
do
boat
you think it
comes.
was heading? At?
Get away before.
And then the boat comes.
So they had to watch their friend get
Yeah.
eaten by a fucking polar
They
bear.
have to watch their friend get eaten alive by a polar
that's
bear.
fucking.
And they eat you alive too. They don't bother killing you.
Do you have
They
any
just start
friends that
eating
died from like grizzlies or anything like that?
you. No, I don't. I do have friends that have been chased by grizzlies and attacked by grizzlies.
And what happened?
Brown bears. Well, most of the time, it's what they're trying to do is scare you. Most of the time, it's like a female with her cubs, and you just zigged when you should have zagged.
That's his thing. He thinks he could zag at the right moment.
There's no zagging with bears. And that's happened with friends where they got charged, you know?
Shot at them? Cameron?
No
That happened with Cameron?
No, he never had to do that. But Steve Ranella from that show Meat Eater has a horrifying story. They had shot an elk on a Fognak Island, which is this island in Alaska where the biggest brown bears live. These things are fucking huge, man. Like 11-foot tall bears.
Right.
They're monsters.
Right.
And they killed this elk. And when they went back to retrieve it, they noticed bear shit.
Uh-oh.
And they ignored it, and they said, let's just sit down and have lunch,
Bad
and we'll
move.
carry this meat out of there. And they heard a noise, and then they turned, and there was this fucking giant beast just running through the camp. and they all stood up, and guys were falling over each other. The bear was like running right past them. One guy, this guy's name's Dirtmouth, wound up on top of the bear as it was running down the hill
Holy shit.
for like 30 feet. Falls off onto the ground. The bear runs off into the woods and starts hoofing at them. And they scramble back to the camp. They didn't have their guns on them. The guns were sitting there. All they were doing was eating lunch. They had no idea it was going to happen this fast. And then all of a sudden, then they've got guns. They've got to try to back out of there.
Wow.
But the bear had claimed their elk.
Of course.
Oh, it took their kill.
You got
Yes.
they got off.
He
easy,
decided
buddy.
it was theirs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they got off easy.
Just lost an elk. Who cares?
Who cares?
They're lucky. That's
I don't
all
even
the
know
bear
if they
wanted.
lost the whole elk. I think they only lost part of it. I think they were in the process of cutting it up and shipping it and moving it back to their camp, which was like a couple of miles away in this rugged terrain. This thing just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Is it just the bear that you have to worry about?
You got to worry about everything, man. That's the thing that's great about the woods is that it's a human reset. When you're like legitimately out in the mountains, it's a human reset.
Right.
Because you realize like, no one gives a fuck who you are out here. No one gives a fuck about you.
Yeah.
Everything here is trying to do their thing.
Right.
The bulls are literally killing each other to fuck. They're
Right.
killing each other.
What do you mean?
They grow weapons.
Yeah.
Every year.
Out of
That's
their
what
head,
those things
To
male-
are.
compete.
They
Yeah,
kill
males-
each other.
male
I didn't know they attack each other.
That's
how
all
the female
they do.
chooses,
the whole
dog.
thing.
The males will there'll be competition. Whoever
Yeah.
wins as the dominant male, that's who the female will mate with.
Dude.
And mates with all of them?
Two bull
Whoever
elks
the most,
fighting.
whenever she's in
You gotta
like
see
heat
it.
or whatever,
Yeah.
that's when male competition happens. She's saying, "I'm going to choose the dominant male because I want the strongest genes for my offspring.
Yeah.
I control this because I got the edge."
So look what
y'all
happens.
choose.
Look, they start smashing at the water. Those are two big ass bulls.
No.
And they decided they both want to be the king shit of the herd. And so they have to go to war. So if you are in the woods and you're elk hunting and you hear clackety clack, 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 clackety clack, you're like, oh shit, they're fighting. And you could run in and kill one of those bulls because they're distracted.
Yeah. Have you seen what they got locked up?
Yes.
Sometimes they'll like lock up their antlers and then they'll just die that way.
Dude, I've watched this personally from, 50 yards away.
Really?
It's amazing. It's amazing to watch. It's wild.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
And then what happened?
Well, in my situation, the wind was bad and we never really could get a shot. It was like there was too many trees and shit for us. By the time we got to them, they had smelled us and took off.
What's the biggest
They
animal
smell you.
could beat the shit out of?
I don't think I could beat the shit out of a monkey.
No.
I'm really scared a monkey would fuck me up.
What about a wolf?
I'm not kidding. Did you
Arian,
see that
remember-
video? Did you ever see that video of a monkey who pulls that strip of that dude's head off?
Oh, monkeys are freakishly strong.
Wait,
But it just climbs. This guy's like trying to be peaceful. He's like on his like sitting crisscross applesauce, and the monkey comes and sits on him. And it's like, hello, my friend. He's like, and the monkey just bites his head and pulls a giant chunk of his scalp off and runs away.
Can you get that up, Mark?
I mean, pulls like a fucking Subway sandwich sized chunk of scalp from this dude's head. I'm not bullshitting. Like this big.
Do we have monkeys in America?
No, we do not.
What about South America?
South America has some monkeys. Yeah.
Arian Foster, who's a football player, he said I could take a wolf.
Yeah, he was crazy. We talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, do you
we
think-
did a podcast together. That's ridiculous.
No chance.
No, impossible.
Even you're a wrestler.
No chance. No chance. You would get. It's literally like a machine that crushes moose bones.
Okay. Okay. So no
A
animals. really.
wolf's bite is 5 times stronger than a pit bull's.
Did you see this?
And their
one?
teeth are designed to crush bone.
Oh, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen. What are you
Would-
doing
would
in this
do
situation?
So this is a family that went to Thailand for like a trip, okay? If I'm not mistaken. So they're like hanging out and they go to like an orangutan exhibit. Oh, no. And this is like this is not graphic, but this is one of the things that they do.
I'm too high for this. I'm watching this lady get bit.
but she's just chilling there, and then they do like an orangutan experience, and this is what happens. He walks up behind her.
Do you see
He
what he's
starts
grabbing?
grabbing her boobs,
He's,
Smiling, tongue
and then
out.
he smiles and then just dips. But I don't think I would want to be that close to an orangutan ever in my life.
no.
Yeah, that's not necessary. If that thing wanted to, it could pull you apart like a roll of toilet paper. Just shh.
Yeah.
It could pull you apart like you were nothing.
Yeah, these people
Like
are-
we think of like, oh, it's not that much bigger than me. It's like it's kind of the same size as me. It's not even the same thing.
Yeah, strength to weight ratio.
We're made out of jelly donuts. That's what it is.
Yeah.
There's not a goddamn animal where you wouldn't be able to fight off a feral cat.
Bears are the scariest animal. I'm glad we actually cleared that up.
I think they're one of the scariest.
I accept that as an apology.
But
from
big
all of you.
cats might be even scarier.
Yeah, I'm more afraid of a big cat.
Yeah.
Big cats are
Why?
scary.
Way
as
more
fuck.
afraid of
I don't know, bears, I feel like I could get away, or if I feel like I could do something. But with a tiger or lion, I'm being dead serious. But with a tiger or lion,
They're
I
way
feel like there's nothing.
Do you remember when you scared me with the bear thing?
No, what was
When
it?
we were, do you remember this? I forget where we were. We were at some comedy club. I told you about fear of bears, and I was like on edge all day because I was like going through all my childhood trauma with bears, and then you just popped out of nowhere at the comedy club. I think we're in like Salt Lake City.
Do you have a lot of childhood trauma with bears?
I mean, kind of. As a kid, it was the scariest thing in the world because we would just be sitting in our house, and all of a sudden, all the trash cans would rattle, and I'm like 6 years old, and all the dogs would start barking crazy, and then we'd run outside, and there'd be a bear there.
and Florida bears are like Florida people.
they're all
very
meth,
unpredictable.
smoking PCP. These bears, they're crazy.
Unpredictable, running from the law.
Wearing Trump hats.
Yeah, they got guns and shit, bro. These bears have guns, dude. And I would go outside and I would just bump into one. And then I'd run inside. And I'm like 6 years old. And then my family found out about it. They bought a bear mask. And then we had a full bear mask, and I'd be sleeping in my bed, 8 years old. My brother kicks in the door, wakes me up, and growling, and I'd wake up, and there'd be a bear in front of me.
Yo, this is amazing.
I
So
told
we
you
made
all
fun
this.
of you because of this?
Yeah.
I didn't listen to a lot of things you said earlier when you were opening up. I'll be
I
honest
got
with
so
you.
terrified
Yeah.
of bears. And then they knew once I got comfortable with the bear mask, then they just flipped the mask inside out.
Oh my
so
God.
it was like just a beige.
Oh, and then we
like-
did something. Did we print out a
we
picture?
were planning to do it. We
Yeah.
never
Oh,
did
I
it.
don't know if we ever did it,
It's
but we
still
wanted
coming.
to
It's
scare
still
you with a
coming.
full
Yeah.
bear costume.
I was terrified.
It's still coming.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Please
it's gonna-
don't.
It's gonna come.
That's the
Bears-
scariest animal.
Real bears are fucking. They're weird to see, because you actually see them in the wild. Like I saw one grizzly, and it wasn't a big one. It was only about 6 feet tall, but it stood up and it was looking at us. And it was looking at us in a totally different way than anything's ever looked at me.
I saw
was
a
like,
bear when
oh,
I was in
no.
fucking Montana, and its cub. Nothing. It didn't. I was
it a
biking.
black bear? Might have been a black bear.
Maybe a black bear.
Did you see
I don't
Grizzly
believe
Man?
you.
I swear to God on my life. I was
The
at my
bears
boy
are
at
everywhere.
Mundo's bachelor party. We're doing a bike trip.
believe you. You need to get high more often.
I have video. I have video of the bear.
He's not arguing with you. He's fighting against the feeling the weed is bringing inside of you.
What is the feeling?
I don't think I'm high anymore. I think it passed. It's
Oh
over.
yeah, you're fine.
Okay, let's get him a little bit more then.
More afraid of bears
Yo,
or
give
sharks?
us a blunt because we're in New York.
Depends on
and we
where you
gotta-
are.
We gotta smoke a Backwood. with
Oh
you.
yeah, pop these out. Yeah,
On the ground?
Bring the whole joint over here.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
the ground.
No, give the whole thing. Oh, we got the dipped ones. That's too crazy for me. But just bring out the whole thing over, and then we could choose.
So here's my answer. On the ground, a bear is not as scary as a shark is in the water.
Oh, bro.
Shark is the apex.
I
predator.
there
am
we
way more afraid of sharks. Way more afraid of alligators.
Yeah.
Way more afraid of. Have you ever smoked a Backwood, Joe?
Yeah,
You really have?
yeah.
Who the fuck you smoke a Backwood?
I'm telling you, it's
Oh,
not
a
that
lot of
unique
them.
to New York.
No,
I thought this is like a Brooklyn, New York thing.
no, they
South
spread around.
thing.
Charlie
It's more
Murphy
South
introduced
thing.
me to
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
the concept back in the day. He was the first guy I ever smoked blunts with, and I was like, oh.
Wait, really?
I was like, this is better.
Yeah.
Blunts are better.